you could rest your hands on your thighs and just close your eyes to begin your practice and see what comes up. Checking in with your body, checking in with your mind right now. Maybe taking a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. And then just allowing your eyes to soften, the muscles around them to relax. Same thing with your jaw, so a bit of space between the upper and lower teeth. Maybe the tongue drops away from the roof of the mouth. And maybe the corners of the mouth kind of pull in opposite direction. And there's a little gentle smile. And then just tuning into your breath. Maybe making it a bit more intentional, but not too much, so not too much effort. Sometimes we really get stuck on that breath and it can make us extra tired if we're working it too much. So right now, just a balance of effort and ease with that breath. So enough effort that you can feel the breath happening, that it's intentional. Enough ease that it's sustainable. Then if you're breathing in and out through the nose, hearing your own breath. And try to feel the chest expand, the rib cage expand as you breathe in, and then as you exhale, chest lowers. Ribs lower, and at the end, see if you can draw the belly towards your spine. Beginning to tone, engage the deeper abdominal muscles that will aid in your posture. So you might notice yourself sitting a little taller, reaching the top of the head just a little higher. And at the same time, allowing your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then you could keep your eyes closed here. We're just going to stretch out the neck. So take an inhale, grow a little taller. And then on your exhale, drop the left ear towards your left shoulder. Allow your right shoulder to get a bit heavier, and it might be through the elbow, so your elbow gets heavier and pulls the shoulder down. Breathe in and breathe out. And then rise up, coming back through center, and then on your exhale, going to your other side. Be gentle. Neck stretches sometimes can make us a bit lightheaded, especially if you go fast. So if that's one of those days, take it slow. Left side of the neck is getting the stretch, a little heavy through the left shoulder, left elbow. Breathe in and breathe out. And then bring yourself back through center, maybe just lifting the chin towards the ceiling on the inhale. And then dropping your chin towards the chest as you exhale. And 2 more times like that. Inhale, chin lifts. Exhale to lower. And last one. And then bring the head back through center, gaze is straight forward, and on the inhale, let's reach those arms overhead. And then on the exhale, lower your right hand down. See if you can reach the floor and then reach over with your left. And then push the floor away with this bottom hand. Getting that extra stretch through the left side. And then coming back through center, lengthening both sides of the body. And to your other side. Exhale, right side. Feeling that stretch. Coming back through center on the inhale and finding a twist so your right hand can come behind you and your left hand crosses over. We're turning towards the right. The legs, the hips stay just as they are. Breathe in. Breathe out. Return through center, reach your arms up, lengthen side, body, spine, and then twist to the other side on your exhale. Once you're in the twist, breathing in for length, breathing out to maybe deepen the twist just a bit. On your inhale, bring yourself back. Arms will lift, and this time interlace your fingers. Turn the palms towards the ceiling and get that good stretch through side, body, armpits. You're also stretching those palms and those fingers. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your arms out and keep them shoulder height. Your wrists are flexed, so your palms are facing out. And then spread your fingers. From here, we're going to find rotations through those shoulders. So your circles don't have to be very big, but you're keeping your elbows extended and your shoulders down away from your ears. And then switch direction. Keep pushing out through the palms. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then with your next inhale, your fingers are going to point away from you. Palms are facing down, and we're going to make fists now. So bring your fingers in, and then wrap your thumb over those fingers. Your knuckles are pointing away from you right now. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, drop those knuckles down towards the floor. So top of the wrist gets a stretch here. And then extend, knuckles away from you. Exhale and drop. Extend. See if you can feel the stretch through the forearm too. And drop. One more time. Extend. And then on your exhale, drop. Pause here for a moment. Full breath in. And full breath out. See if you can keep your wrists as they are and then release your fingers. So now your fingers are pointing down. Your palms are facing towards you. Find some space between the fingers, the stretch through the palm. Keep drawing the fingers towards you. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, lower those arms down. Relax your hands. Rest them again onto your thighs. So notice if there was work through the shoulders, and take a breath in. And a breath out. Notice any sensation through the forearms, through the hands, wrists. One more breath. And then with your next inhale, reach your arms up. And on your exhale, again, right hand down, side, stretch, push the floor away. Pause here, maybe bend your top elbow, rest your hand behind the head. Rest the head into the hand. Breathe in, lift through the elbow, and breathe out. And we'll do the same on the other side, coming back through center. Inhale. And switch, exhale. Pressing or pushing away through the bottom hand, bending that top elbow, hand behind the head, and maybe head resting into that hand as your elbow lifts up towards the ceiling. Breathe into that right side of the body, right armpit, upper arm. Breathe out, draw the belly towards your spine. And then inhale, bring yourself back through center, reach your arms up. And then on your exhale, we'll bring those hands in front of us and we'll come into table pose. So make your way there. You can move the block or pillow if you had it out of the way. I'll just take my jumper off, but I'll meet you in table pose. In your table pose, your hands are going to be more or less under shoulders, your knees more or less under hips. And then let's press through fingerprints, base of fingers, and then through thumb and pinky side. So you're evenly distributing the weight on those hands and you're protecting your wrists. Let's find some cows and cats. So as you inhale, bring your chest forward, your gaze up, throat expands. On your exhale, round your spine. Feel that space in the back body, back of your neck, shoulder blades. And again, inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. And one more, inhale, cow. And exhale into cat. Let's find a neutral spine, and we're going to build a little bit of heat. So when you're ready, tuck your toes, take a full breath in, and then on your exhale, lift those knees and just hover them over the mat. Push out through your heels and then push through your hands and broaden your upper back. Keep your core engaged. Those knees are just hovering. Take another breath. On your exhale, lower those knees. Take an inhale here. And then again, exhale, lift those knees, just hovering. Those shins are just maybe like an inch over the mat. Keep sending those sit bones back, crown of the head forward, broaden upper back. Breathe in. And again, lower those knees, exhale. One more time, breath in here. On your exhale, hover those knees, broaden upper back, maybe a little bend in your elbows. You pushing through your hands, pushing through your heels. See if you can engage your glutes here. Take another inhale. And then exhale, lower your knees. Untuck those toes, tops of the feet to the mat. Press down through the tops of the feet. And then on your inhale, bring your chest forward, gaze up. And then as you exhale, round your spine and then come into a child's pose for a second here. Sit bones towards your heels. And then let's come back up. Inhale into cow, chest forward, gaze up. Exhale as you round, just drop those sit bones to your heels for a moment. One more time like that. Inhale, coming forward, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, sit bones to heels. With your next inhale, come back into your table pose and reach your left leg all the way out behind you. Reaching through the sole of the foot, so you could flex the foot or you could flex at your toes. Toes pointing straight down. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, knee to chest, rounding your spine, maybe knee to nose. On your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to the outside of your left elbow and maybe climb it up towards the shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cross that knee underneath you and draw it towards your right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And now on your exhale, bring that leg all the way out to the left and then tap your toes. Leg is extended. Inhale, send it all the way back and then over to the right and tap. Inhale, center, and then all the way to the left and tap. Inhale, center, exhale to the right. One more time. Inhale, center, to the left, and inhale, center, and to the right. Now once you're at the right side, plant the ball of the foot, push the heel away, squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. So left hip is drawing in and down. Push the floor away with your hands. Keep that broad upper back. Breath in and breath out. With your next inhale, that leg is going to come back through center. Reach it up. And then on your exhale, release it down. Knee under hip. Inhale back into cow. Lift the chest, the gaze. Exhale, round your spine and come onto fingertips. Bring your hands a bit closer to your knees. Broaden that upper back. Pause here. Full breath in. And full breath out. And then plant your palms once again into your table pose. We'll go for the right side now. So as you are ready, right leg rises behind you. Once again, you could try flexing at your ankle. So you're pressing through the sole of the foot or flexing at your toes. So you're pressing through the ball of the foot and the toes. Okay. Either way, it's an active leg. Take an inhale. And now on your exhale, knee to chest, round your spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring that knee to the outside of your right elbow, maybe climbs up towards the shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cross that knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. On your exhale, bring that leg all the way out to the right and tap those toes. And then inhale, send it back. Exhale, cross it to the left and tap. And again, inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to left. Inhale to the right. And exhale, last one, to the left. We're planting the ball of the foot now, so toes are drawing towards us. We're pushing through the heel, and then feel those inner thighs come a little closer, that right hip bone kind of drawing in and down. This is a good place now to remind yourself about those hands. Notice if you're putting weight more into the wrist, see if you can send weight into your fingers, base of your fingers. Thumb side, pinky side, and then engage through the core, broad and upper back. One more breath. And then as you inhale, that leg comes back through center, and on your exhale, return the knee to the mat, coming back into your table pose. Shift your hips from side to side, walk a bit. Maybe even one hand lifts and then the other. So again, the wrists get a little break too. And it's also nice for the shoulders. It can relax just slightly. And then let's bring ourselves back to stillness. We're going to tuck those toes and this time make our way into downward facing dog. So coming straight from a table pose into down dog, usually it gives us a shorter downward facing dog. So take advantage of it. Your heels might be well planted and you might be able to send a bit more weight into your legs than into your arms. So your shoulders might get a little break, your wrists might get a little rest too. Take another inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then we'll use the next inhale to walk those feet towards the hands towards the feet, meeting in a forward fold at the top of the mat. Grab opposite elbows, take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, bend into your right knee, straighten out that left, and see if you can lift that left sit bone and press down through that left heel. Oh, back of that left leg might feel a good stretch here. And then inhale, straighten that right knee, and we're switching. Left knee bends, and now the back of the right leg gets the stretch. See if you can allow the head to drop. And then inhale, straighten the left. One more time each side, right knee bends. And inhale, straighten, and left knee bends. And then with your next inhale, bend into both knees, release your elbows, reach your arms forward and up, chair pose. On your exhale, bring hands to your heart. With your next inhale, lift your right heel. And then on your exhale, lower. Left heel lifts, inhale. And exhale, lower. Right heel, inhale. And lower. And left heel. And lower. Now as you inhale, arms lift, legs will straighten, and on your exhale, side stretch, left arm down, reaching over with the right. Come back through center, and then switch, exhale. Back through center, interlace those fingers, actually the awkward interlace, turn the palms towards the ceiling, push those palms away. You could stay here with the feet planted, or maybe as your palms push away, you might come up onto the balls of the feet, lifting those heels. Keep a steady gaze, maybe get a bit wobbly. Breathe in. And then on your exhale, if your heels are lifted, with control, lower them back down to the mat. And then release your hands and bring them behind you. Interlace them once again. Open up now the fronts of the shoulders and chest, knuckles reaching down and back. Full breath in. And full breath out. And then as you inhale, release those hands, reach them all the way up. And on your exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. And on your exhale, plant your hands on the mat or on blocks and step your left foot all the way to the back of your mat. So coming into a low lunge here. Okay. See if you can feel the stretch through that back leg, pushing the heel back. And then drop your hips on the inhale as you lift your chest. And then on your exhale, straighten that front leg and send your hips back. Feel that right hamstring. 2 more times like that. Inhale to come forward, left hip flexor. Exhale back, right hamstring. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. And then with your next inhale, come forward. Keep your left hand on the mat or on a block. Open up towards your right into a twist. Reaching that right arm towards the ceiling, maybe taking your gaze up too. Try to keep your right hip drawing in. Breathe in and breathe out. 1 more inhale. And then on your exhale, lower your right hand to the inside of that right foot. So you might move your right foot out a bit. You're coming into a lizard lunge here. Take a full breath in, front shin reaching forward, back heel pushing back. Full breath out, draw the belly towards your spine. And then with your next inhale, see if you can lower the back heel. So now you've got warrior 2 legs here. Okay? And then your left hand, see if it can lift up towards the ceiling. So you're coming into like a side angle, but your right hand is all the way down on the mat. Take a breath in and a breath out. 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, left hand returns to the mat. And from here, make your way back into downward facing dog. So sometimes you need to readjust your hands if you need to widen them, or readjust your feet. Lift your sit bones a little higher in your downward facing dog. Take another breath in and a breath out. With your next inhale, come out into a plank pose. And then on your exhale, lowering your knees or not, keep your elbows by your ribs and lower all the way down to the mat. Cobra, so tops of the feet are pressing down, glutes are engaged, hands on the shoulders, lift that chest, inhale, exhale and lower. 2 more times, inhale to lift, exhale to lower. 1 more, inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. From here, tuck your toes, come through all fours and make your way back into downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. 1 more, inhale and exhale. Now your choice, you could walk your feet towards your hands, or you can try taking a hop. And the hop doesn't have to bring you all the way up to the hands. It could bring you halfway. So if you're taking a hop, take an inhale. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and take that hop. Inhale to a halfway lift, feet at the top of the mat with your hands. And exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, come into chair pose, arms by your ears. And exhale, bring hands to your heart. Inhale, straighten legs, reach your arms all the way up. And then exhale, right arm down, side stretch. Back through center, inhale. Other side, exhale. Back through center, inhale. And give yourself a stretch once again. Interlace those fingers, push the palms. See if you can feel a little lift. Maybe you come onto the balls of the feet. Keep a steady gaze. Engage through your glutes. Full breath in. And then exhale with control, lower those heels. Release the hands, bring them behind you. Find again that interlace, open chest. And then this time on your exhale, fold forward. And you can keep your hands at your lower back. Reach your chest forward and down. And then once you've got the fold, bend your knees if you need to. Your knuckles could reach up. And maybe, depending on how your shoulders are, at this moment, you can drop your arms overhead. Full breath in and full breath out. And then let's release those hands, halfway lift on the inhale. And then plant those hands again on the mat or on blocks. And now step your right foot to the back of your mat. So coming again into that lunge on this side now. So see if you can press back through that back heel, reach forward through the front shin, feel the stretch through the inner thighs. And then on the inhale, drop your hips, lift your chest, right hip flexor now getting that stretch. And then as you exhale, straighten the front leg and just feel that left hamstring. 2 more times, breathe in to come forward. And breathe out, moving back. And in. And out. And then on your inhale, coming forward. Now we're planting that right hand. And we're opening into that twist towards the left hand towards the ceiling. Maybe gaze follows. Sometimes when we do this left hip goes forward and out. See if you can draw it back in. Soft gaze, soft face. And another tweak here. Notice if you're leaning down or dropping into that right shoulder, and then energize that bottom arm. Push the mat away. Find just a bit more action, a bit more lift. 1 more breath. And then with your next exhale, guide your left hand towards the inside of that left foot. And again, maybe moving that left foot out to come into this lizard for a moment. Your hips are still square to the mat. We're taking a breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to drop that back heel. So we're opening up into those warrior 2 legs. See if you can keep your left hand down, so it could be on the mat or on a block, and then your right arm opens towards the ceiling, so your torso opens towards your right. Breath in here. Breath out. Keep that back leg strong. 1 more breath. And then use your next exhale to draw that right hand down and make your way back into your downward facing dog. Left leg goes back and plants. And readjust your stance here. Finding the right place for your hands and your feet, and then lifting those sit bones just a little higher, dropping those heels just a little lower. And then finding some softness through the neck. So use this down dog now to look from side to side, allowing the head to be heavy. Take another breath in. And breath out. And then this time with your next inhale, walk your hands towards your feet. And from here, we're going to go into a squat. So turn your toes out and then begin to bend your knees, lower your sit bones towards your heels. Feel free to keep your hands on the mat here or a rounded spine. But if it's available, lift your spine, lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling, elbows to the insides of your knees. And as your palms press against one another, your elbows press your knees out and back. You might be on the sole of the foot, or you might be on the balls of the feet. So you're adding that extra balance to your posture here. Finding that breath. Wherever you are, see if you can relax those shoulders away from ears. Another breath in. And breath out. And then on the inhale, we're going to rise up. So begin to engage through those legs. Push the floor away. Reach your arms above the head as you straighten all the way up. And then on your exhale, point those toes straight forward. And on your exhale, bring those hands behind you. Find your interlace. Open up that chest. And then on the exhale, fold hands at the lower back. And once again, maybe lifting them up and overhead. From here, feel free to relax the neck, look from side to side. A bend in your knees. Breath in. And breath out. And then release those hands on the inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold. And now on your inhale, hands to the mat and walk those hands forward. Keep your feet where they are. But you're coming onto the balls of the feet, coming into a plank with your legs wide. Okay? Draw the belly towards your spine and then take a full breath in. And on your exhale, drop your heels to the right. On your inhale, lift, and then drop them to the left. And then inhale, lift, and pause here, exhale. Now with your next inhale, walk your feet close together, so hip width. Okay? Take another inhale, exhale. And now we're going to walk the feet, both of them, towards the right. So it's kind of you walking your plank a bit. So you're coming probably off the mat. Your hands stay where they are. And then walk them back onto the mat. And then let's go to the left. And then back to the mat. Take another breath in. And with control, exhale to lower all the way down. This time for Cobra, it's kind of like an extended arm Cobra. So the hands are going to come to the upper corners of your mat. So left corner, right corner. And then from here, engage through legs like we usually do and glutes. And then begin to lift your chest. And then some of you might be able to extend those elbows. It's okay to keep them bent. Okay. Just be cautious with your lower back. But if you engage glutes and legs, that should help. You might be able to lift a little higher. Pushing the floor away with those arms. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, bend into those elbows and imagine trying to pull your hands towards you as your chest comes forward and down. So as you lower that front of the body down, you're also lengthening the spine. So you're finding a bit of a counter pose to what you just did. Your arms come in front of you. You can grab opposite elbows and then rest your forehead on those forearms and allow your legs to relax, heels out. Feel a bit of a broadening through the sacrum. And if you feel like it, you could just shift your hips from side to side, finding a bit of a release from that compression. We'll take about 3 breaths. And then with your next inhale, hands come under shoulders. We'll make our way into a child's pose. So your child's pose could be knees together or maybe a little wide, actually, because we'll do a thread the needle from child's. Okay, so you want your sit bones to be supported. Feel free to use a block or a pillow behind your knees. So when you're ready, your left arm is going to be out in front of you, and then lift your torso just enough so that you've got some space under that left arm. And now reach your right arm out to the side on the inhale, maybe open the chest towards the right. And then as you exhale, thread that right arm under the left, and then allow your right shoulder to drop towards the mat, the head to rest onto the mat, or again, maybe a block. So we're threading the needle here, and then see if you can reach forward through your left fingers just a little bit more. And then stop the reach and enjoy the stretch. So breathe in and breathe out. Let's take one more. And then with your next inhale, walk your left hand back a bit so you can lift your torso, and then plant your right hand now, and we'll switch sides. So again, some space between the mat and your right arm and right armpit so that your left arm can open. And then thread with the palm facing up, thread it under the right, and then lower your shoulder, lower the head. And then you might get that extra stretch by reaching your right fingers just a little further. And then make sure to stop the reach and allow yourself to be where you're at. So allow that body to drop into that stretch and allow gravity to do some of the work. Let's take one more breath. And then with your next inhale, release, come back through center, walk your hands towards you. And then from here, if your knees are wide, bring them a little closer, just enough so that you can plant your hands on the outsides of your thighs. And they might be kind of closer to your knees than your hips. Okay. So from here, we're going to lift the hips on the inhale. So you're lifting them off your heels. And then from here, see if you can lift your knees. And then if you're lifting your knees, see if you can roll over your toes and then come onto the balls of the feet into a little squat. Your hands can still be on the mat. And then let's do this a couple more times. So now as you inhale, come forward. Bring weight into your hands, roll over your toes, you back onto the tops of the feet, your shins, and your knees, sit bones on your heels. Okay? And let's do that again. Lift those sit bones, lift your knees, weight into your arms so that you can roll over your toes, come back onto the balls of the feet, come into that squat. Your heels can stay lifted, your hands can stay on the mat. One more time like that. Inhale, come forward. You want to lift those hips. You want to find a bit of weight into your hands so you roll over your toes, back onto your shins, sit bones on heels. And last one, we're coming up, over those toes and back into that little squat. And then into this squat, you can transform it in our usual squat. So feet a little wider. And again, hands can come to the heart, elbows to the insides of those knees, and then broaden those knees, lift the spine. Breath in and breath out. One more inhale and exhale. And then from this squat, sometimes it can be gracious, sometimes it's not. We're going to come into a seat. So if you can, hands in front of you, lower those sit bones and find your seat. So legs are going to be in front of us now. Let's find a bit wider legs and wider knees. And then on the inhale, hands to the outer hips, lift the spine. And as you exhale, drop your knees to the left, look over your right shoulder. Inhale back through center, and then switch sides, exhale. And back through center. And again, knees to the left, gaze right, and center, and switch. And then with your next inhale, bring yourself through center. We're lowering the knees to the left. Bring your right hand over and then turn your torso to look behind you. See if you can feel that stretch through front of that right hip. And we did this one before, so if you want, feel free to do it today too. Maybe the connections are made. So you're going to be pressing that right knee down and see if you can lift your right foot just over or hover it over your mat. It helps if the foot is flexed also. And then lower that foot down. And maybe do it 2 more times. Lift, lower, and lift, and lower. And then with your next inhale, return through center. Your right hand comes back, your knees come back, and we're going to the other side. So now knees to the right, left hand comes over. We're turning to look behind us, any amount that works for you. And then locate that left foot. Locate your glute. So glute is working here. Locate your left knee, and then when you're ready, lift that left foot. It's just hovering over the mat. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. With your next inhale, return. Left hand comes back, knees lift. And now sometimes it you can feel it in that outer lower back. So let's try and stretch that out. Bring your hands to the insides of your feet and then just walk your hands forward. You could also use the block here. Place your hands on the block. Sometimes having them a little lifted helps too. And get as much distance between that tailbone and your fingers as you can. Breath in, knees are still wide, feet are still wide. Breath out. 1 more. And then as you inhale, we're going to bring ourselves back. Walk those hands back, lift that spine, and then bring those feet hip width. And we'll make our way down onto the mat. And if you have your block, bring your block with you and we'll do a supported bridge pose. When you're ready, reach those arms in front. Inhale. Exhale, coming halfway down. Control, use that lower belly, use your legs. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. And once your head reaches the mat, your shoulders rest on the mat, just allow yourself to breathe in. And allow yourself to breathe out, maybe with a sigh or an open mouth. Oh, it took some work to come down to the mat, so acknowledge that. Acknowledge that now you are supported completely by the mat. And then from here, prepare for a bridge pose. So you're bringing your feet, your heels a little closer to your sit bones. Try to align your ankles and knees. And then have your block nearby. We'll rest those hips on the block. So first, inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower your hips. And do that 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And now have the block in your hand and lift your hips and slide that block straight under the sacrum and find the height that will work for you today. Don't make it too strenuous. So the sacrum, the hip should feel nice and supported. There shouldn't be any pain or strain on the lower back. Okay? Sometimes if you feel it on your lower back, it might mean that you need to or lower the block, or you need to move it a little lower down the spine, so closer to your heels. And then once you are here, bring your right knee in. So hips on the block, right knee is coming in towards the chest. And you might stay. Do 1 knee at a time. You could then switch, plant your right foot, and then bring your left knee in. Or if you're feeling stable on the block, bring both knees in, so feet are lifted off the ground. Your knees more or less over your hips, and then you could stay here, heels heavy towards your glutes. It should feel restful. Or you could reach your feet up towards the ceiling. Usually this works if your ankles, knees, and hips are more or less in line. If your ankles and your knees are kind of going out in a diagonal, that's going to put strain on your lower back. And sometimes it won't feel, well, it definitely won't feel restful, but it also can strain and stress that lower back. So if when you lift your feet, that's what happens, I would keep the knees bent and heels closer to the glutes. But if you feel comfortable and easy with the legs up, do that and find some ease through the legs. So they're not reaching, they're kind of passive hanging here. So there might be a bit of a bend in your knees, your toes are soft. You can use your hands to support them, or your hands could be at your belly. And just let yourself be here, just breathing in and breathing out. Not too much effort. If it's comfortable, close your eyes. And just feel the weight of your legs dropping into your hips, and then that weight dropping into the block, and then all that weight dropping into the earth. And then just gently, we're going to come back down. So if your legs are extended, just bend your knees first. And then we'll lower one leg at a time to the mat. So with that knee bent, lower that right foot. And then once that right foot is planted, lower your left. And now you're in that supported bridge pose. And with your next inhale, just lift your hips off the block. Move the block out of the way and keep your hips lifted for a moment. Take a full breath in, maybe lift them a little higher. And then on your exhale, extend through those sit bones as you lower the spine back to the mat. Imagine your sit bones trying to reach your heels. And once you feel that sacrum reaching the mat, allow your feet to come a little wider and let your knees rest against one another. Bring your hands to your belly and take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, draw the belly away from your hands and push the lower back into the mat. And find this breath 2 more times. So we're just using this posture and the breath to neutralize the back bend that happens in bridge pose. And then with your next inhale, that right knee is going to come into the chest. And then draw that right knee towards your right armpit and maybe find a half happy baby. Your left knee could still be bent, your foot planted, but if you want, you could let your left knee just drop out to the side. So you get also a stretch through the inner thighs and your lower back spreads on the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. And then bring that left knee back through center. Release your right foot. Plant your right foot and then draw your left knee in. And you could do the same on this side. Knee towards your armpit. Maybe even that half happy baby. And then allow your right knee just to open up. So maybe you're coming onto the pinky side of your right foot. Press that lower back into the mat. Breathe in. and breathe out. And then bring that right knee in, lower your left foot back to the mat, and then find the most comfortable position for your body at this moment. So if there's any other movement that you need before that, feel free to go there, take a few breaths. And your comfortable position could be knees bent, could be knees supported with a pillow or block, could be legs out. Anything you'd want to do with your arms, just allow some softening. Allow the muscles to relax and rest. And now just allow the breath to be normal breath. And trust the ground underneath you to hold you, support you. And as the body takes that rest, notice what the mind does. It might be calm too, or it might be busy. No rights or wrongs. Just get to know what it's like. And let's tune back into that breath. And then let's find some gentle movement through the fingers, through the toes, through ankles, wrists. Maybe some movement through your neck. And then roll onto one side if you're on your back and give yourself a moment here with your knees to your chest, your arms supporting the head. A moment for a breath in. And maybe an open mouth exhale. And then let's make our way up. Find a comfortable seat. Bring hands to your heart. And we'll just end our practice first by acknowledging the practice itself. Then by acknowledging ourselves for practicing. Then acknowledging all those that practiced with us today, any other time. And then acknowledging all those that make it possible. And ending with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.